Welcome to Super Entrepreneurs Podcast. Today we have with us Sherry Fernandez. How are you, Sherry?
I'm good. I'm really grateful to be here. I look forward to this interview. So I'm excited.
Yeah, same here. I'm grateful to have you as well. So I know you're in personal development and you have unbelievable experience, and I'm very much passionate about personal development as well. And I wasn't before. I spent most of my life with the outside in paradigm, and it was hectic. It was frustrating. It was it wasn't a very smooth sailing type of a life. And then when I realized, hey, I can make changes in my world from inside out, it's like, wow. And I haven't stopped since. So I'm very much excited to speak to you today.
It's kind of addictive, isn't it? You start the happiness that comes from personal growth and the peace. Then you want
so much.
You accomplish something. You say, what else can I do? Yeah, it's been a lifelong journey for me. I started in my 20s, and I'm 67 now. So I've been doing.
Tell us more. Tell us more about that. The journey.
It's when the first media company that I worked with, they wrote up this big thing about Sherry's. This big kind of blurb, Sherry's rags to riches story. And I was like, I never thought of it that way, but really, it really, truly was that exactly. In our 20s, I had a child and was married, and I knew when I was younger that I'd wanted great things, but somewhere I lost it in my party days, and I don't know. we're just, my husband and I, we're working so hard and we're barely able to survive. And I mean, barely able to survive without the help of, occasional help from other people. I don't know if we would have survived, but we knew that we wanted good stuff and great stuff. And I wanted not just financially, which we did. I mean, I wanted financial freedom, but I also wanted to have my children and still have a sexy rockin' body. I thought I could do both. And I missed my education. So I needed to be self-educated. That time had passed for me to go to school. As it turns out, self-education, I'm not going to say it's in place of, but better than formal education in many ways. So I got the education and the relationships. I didn't want to do things my parents had done the relationship wise. So I just wanted everything, and I just knew it was possible. So went to work, personal development, and I started reading the books and listening to people as much as we could. We had a big family, but we both did that, and we set a goal to have $1 million by the time we were 40. Be worth $1 million. This is back in the 70s. So $1 million.
Nice.
And we did that.
Back then.
We went to work, but I mean, it was not a big, I don't want to make it sound like it was a big leap forward. It was teeny little steps because that's all we've got, right? And I worry sometimes that in the age of social media, when everything's right there, the young people think, if I just make the right decision, I can leap over to this goal. And it's just little steps. And I just learned that, but the little steps add up quick. It doesn't take very long for them to add up to something big. And it did.
Yeah. So can you share what?
Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that?
I said, that's all you've got is little steps, I think is all I was saying. So you had a question.
Yeah. So that is wonderful, and you're in that place right now, especially that desire for kids. Once we become parents, that's all that our focus, tends to be, is what we can do better for them and how can they have a better life, right? But there's situations where we want them to do so much, but there are parents that are, struggling with their teenagers or kids, and they want them to go on the right path. And especially with mindset, they can achieve so much more, right, with personal development. Do you have any recommendations for parents of that nature, what they could do to open the doors of conversation and get them on board with personal development at an early age?
Well, the whole thing about it is personal. So you can't really lead anybody to it. But here's the best thing. And I had 6 kids, so I think I have some experience. And I've been teaching both children and adults, both teenagers and adults and young adults, most of my life. This is the deal. You do it and you let them watch you, and then let them ask. be open about the personal development that you're doing. Let them watch you do it. One wise man said that my father never taught me how to live. He just lived and let me watch him do it. You will teach so much more by your own example, and they'll want what you've got rather than cramming it down their throat. But on the other hand, there could be formal teaching. We always have met with our family once a week to just teach, learn, grow together. So, you have opportunities then to maybe do a formal thing, or a child comes to you like, I'm really struggling with this thing. And well, here's a practice that helped me. Maybe it will help you. Trying to convince. One thing I would really just, I can't even say strongly enough with children, your children, even if they're adults, your job is to believe in them wholeheartedly. So you never want to send a message that makes them feel like you don't think they're good enough the way they are. So if you have a child who's overweight, you wait for them to come to you and say, I'm really unhappy about my weight. And then you say, well, what can I do? Would you like to go see somebody? I mean, I'm happy to help you. But you don't like, well, stop eating that junk. You know what I mean? You just don't let them, you got to believe in them and teach them by your example.
Do you work with kids as well?
Not children. Actually, I said children, but teenagers. I did. I have. I don't know right now, but I have worked for about 9 years. I worked with teenagers, and then I spent some years teaching classes, one class a week to college age students. And most of my work now is either speaking workshops or one-on-one mentoring to adults. That's what I do now.
And what does that look like? What kind of client is your ideal client?
Most of my clients, until just this last few that I've gotten, have been for over the years have been 35 to 50-year-old male entrepreneurs. This is who I attract. But my husband and I are both very entrepreneurial. We have a lot of businesses. We understand it. And also, I thought about it. I wondered why that is. And it's because people doing their own thing, they don't have the training that they might get in a corporate situation, where they're getting ongoing training. They have to find their own training. And they need more help with balance. When you've got a dream like a business, it's easy to get out of balance. So I think that's one reason why. But right now, just coincidentally, I have almost all women. I don't do that many times. I only do about 4 to 6 at any given time. And I have 5 women and 1 man. So that's what I have right now.
That's great. No, for entrepreneurs, for example, there are entrepreneurs that are pushing their business, like they're working hard, they're doing what needs to be done on a daily basis. And if you bring up personal development, for example, they feel like, they have it packed, like they know what they need to do, but they're also not feeling the fulfillment, not feeling good, but because they're feeling overwhelmed, too much work. What would you say to someone like that in your world to help them make a decision to get help in personal development, like grow the internal world?
That's usually why they do come to me, is because they know that things are out of balance. It's not so much their business goals, although we do deal with those, but they know that maybe families getting neglected. They need some help with the discipline and the habits that they know that will help them actually be more successful. And they know this. You ask anybody if they think if they're more fit, they'd make more money, it'd affect their bottom line. They'll all say yes. They just don't know how to get it going, how to fit it into a busy life. They all know that if their home life is good, their business life will be better. Everybody knows this, and they at least sense it, but it doesn't translate a lot when you've got demands and people shouting and wanting from you, and you've got this business you're worried about. Sometimes you just don't know how to do it all. And I won't work with anybody who just wants training in one thing. So they know that coming in with working with me. I work on 8 areas, and I ask that they set goals in all 8 areas. Or I'm not even interested, although nobody's really done that. They know that going in. They've read the book, or they know me well enough to know that we work on all 8 areas of life. And that's what they want. And also the other thing with entrepreneurs is, this is an interesting thing. You're probably one of these people. They have a gazillion ideas. Like, they have all these ideas. They got this business, but they also have this idea for this business, maybe this business, and maybe they could do this. And so another one of my roles with them, and I like that. I love that mentality, that brain, because that's how Ken and I are. I help them get focused on one thing, so that they can do that and then put the other things aside until they get this one thing done, because they tend to spread themselves too thin, trying too many ideas, and then they lose the whole thing. So that's another thing that that's probably one of the major things that we work on is that's a really good idea. Let's put it in our idea book and get back to work on this thing that we're working on here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's very common in the entrepreneur drive because, we know we got so much inside us, so much locked that we just want to go and do.
Yeah.
And I feel that clarity and that focus, it comes from self-awareness, right? Like to be actually self-aware and work on that self-awareness, you find that clarity, you find that focus. Is there any pointers that you can share with the audience that could help them become more self-aware?
Well, obviously, I hate to use this phrase, it's going to become very popular, but still identify with it. Mindfulness practices, being aware of what you're thinking. We talk a lot about meditations, and people are doing a lot of, I've talked to a lot, I know this, I got to get off on this little thing a little bit, but they'll say, I meditate. Well, what do you do? Well, I listen to this app. Okay. That's not meditation. That is a nice calming thing. But meditation is spending time with your own thoughts so that you can be aware of what you're thinking about. So if you're on the go all the time, you've got all these ideas and things, first of all, you need some peace in your brain. And second of all, you need to be aware of what you're thinking. Now, why is it that I want to start that idea? Or why is it that I think that's true? And you can't really do that without time alone with you, with a quiet brain. So I would recommend meditation. And there's lots of kinds of meditations. I teach one that I borrowed from Julia Cameron called Morning Pages, where people with a really busy brain, you just write stream of consciousness writing for 3 pages every day. Just no matter what happens, you write. And I've got 3 clients doing this right now. They're all just raving about how effective that is. And I've done it myself for periods of time, super effective way. It's a meditation because it's helping you do one thing at a time and helping you be aware of what you're thinking. So it's a meditation, right? So that's what real meditation is. But that kind of a practice can really calm down the brain and make you more aware of what you think about all day long.
Yes. Yes, so true. Thank you for sharing that, because we all know the help is definitely needed in the world. We see it all around us. It's just something that needs to be done. Personal development is the key to growth, and I'm grateful that you do what you do, and especially with all your experience and how you're helping people with that experience is wonderful. That's great. Can you share with us what your morning routine looks like? Because with that much experience, I know there's some gold there in the morning.
Now, one of the first things I do was actually the second thing I do, which I do quite soon, and then we work on the whole time when people coach with me, is we work on daily routines, we work on daily habits, and we track them. And it looks like I can show you this as a tracking sheet. I just started mine for December, first day of December, so it looks something like this. This is a rough one. I'm working on a planner, developing a planner, so that's kind of a
okay, good.
So the first thing, keep the phone off. That's the first thing. Phone goes off either before I go to bed or when the first thing when I get up, phone goes off. No, before you look at it. And then the first thing I do is prayer, and then meditation, and then I make a smoothie real quick. So I've got some, because I believe in eating fairly early in the day. Then I go back to my desk and I do spiritual study. I do reading, educational study. I write my affirmations. I plan my day. I write in a journal. I do those things. And then I work out.
That's cool.
So I've got takes me about 2.5 hours to do that, all of that.
Yeah. Similar to mine. Mine's around that 2-3 hours, something like that. Just depends. But isn't it amazing your day, how it goes when you do that work first thing?
What do you do? I want to know what you do.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I'm honored that you asked me. Usually people don't ask. So morning, what I do is I write in my journal. And I saying this journal because back in the day when I heard someone that they wrote in a journal, I was the guy that would be laughing. Like I didn't know any of this stuff. I was just outside of it, right? So, but now, yes, I've been for years now journaling. So what that is that I put in 3 or 4 paradigms that I'm changing at a go. So what I do is I write them out with a lot of feeling every morning, each of those to shift in to that belief in my subconscious. So I work on that. And then after that, I read Think and Grow Rich a little bit. And then from there, I work out. And then after working out, like at home, I just have one of those Dr. John Jagwish's system. I don't know if you heard of it, but it's just those bands with a bar. Yeah. So I do that, and then I meditate about 50 minutes, and then I get ready, and that's it.
That's it. That sounds good.
Hit the road.
You know, when you call journaling is something that I teach as written affirmations, kind of very similar, exactly the same, but similar, where I teach a written affirmation.
Cool.
I do those. I write those every morning. You write those, and they're like so powerful. That writing is so powerful. And whether you're doing the morning pages or the journaling or you're writing affirmations, pen on paper is just, you can't beat it for.
Oh, so magical.
Yeah, it is. And there's science behind it. You know, it's not just that there's some way that we tap into our subconscious and our non-conscious brain. We can bring things forward that we can't just do, especially typing it into your cell phone. That isn't really very helpful.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I like it. That's good. Very similar.
I'm so sorry?
I said that's a good routine. I like it.
Thank you.
Very similar. We have very similar routines. It's not coincidental, though. As I look at high achievers, people who have been very successful, they all have, well, first of all, they all have morning routines that they make inviolate. Like, nobody interrupts me. This is my time. They do it first thing in the morning before anything else.
Yeah.
And they usually draw from the same pool of things you and I do. There's usually things that are something spiritual, something physical, educational, being mindful, but doing those kind of things. And I don't know if there's in my world, there's any exceptions of the people who I've either know or studied who don't do that are successful human beings, not just success. You know, we say successful, we usually talk about money, but successful people, not just financially for sure, but physically and with their relationships, well-rounded whole people. They do those things. They just do. And so not a coincidence we have similar routines.
Yeah, it's true. And you know, when we do this morning routine, it actually it ignites something, right? It ignites something for the day, and it's like a recharge from the previous day. And when you do it, you find that it's like a brand new, it has some kind of a power behind it, the day, when you do have a morning routine. When I didn't have a morning routine, I would just go right into a phone, like just emails and messages, you know, and it would just start frustrating because there's always that one email that would frustrate you, right? Yeah. If you're living from outside in. And it would just kind of put you at a very low frequency. And but now when you elevate yourself with a morning routine, you can continue the elevation if you do it long enough. And another key, I think, is, and I don't know if you can agree with this, Sherry, is the consistency. Because when you're doing the morning routine, it brings you persistence because you make a deal with yourself. I'm not going to miss a day. So when you're not going to miss a day and you make it like, you know, it's not there's no compromising on it. You're just going to do it. That gives you that paradigm of persistence as well, I feel.
Exactly. It's that, and that's, you said, and don't miss a day. I have the saying, I'll do all these things or I'll die trying. I'm not really die trying, but I just say that's the attitude that you have to have. I come first because you're filling your own cup for one thing. And here's the thing. So when I started doing some of this, well, I started in my 20s, but somewhere in my 40s, it kind of really coalesced into a thing where I really realized that, no matter what else happens, I have to do me. If the laundry, because I got the 6 kids, we've got ball games and dance house and a business that we're running, and we were heavily involved in the community and the church. It was just a lot. But I figured out pretty quickly during that time in my life, if I took care of those things first, everything else went okay. And if they didn't get done, they could be done tomorrow. But I couldn't, today's workout can't be done tomorrow. Today's prayer can't be prayed tomorrow. Today's meditation can't be done tomorrow. And on my day, I would feel fine at the end of the day if I took care of me. It sounds selfish, but it's not selfish. It's you take care of yourself so that you can function well for everybody else. And you said a couple of times about from the inside out rather than the outside in. It's who you're becoming that draws success to you. Every day,
Yes.
that one day, that morning routine, you're becoming not just a more disciplined person. Of course, that's huge, but those things are adding up to change you. So every day I do these things, I'm becoming something better. And as
Amazing.
it's only little baby steps is all you've got, but those baby steps add up pretty quick, and they lead to a successful journey.
Yeah.
You only got this one life to
Yes.
live, and you want succeeding in the finances is great, or in the business, but you only got this one life to live. So this is living. If you do these things every day, you've got this balance in
Yeah.
your life perspective. This is life. This is how you live it in the fullness. Always living for that big deal. Putting out
Yes.
fires, putting out those. You probably have discovered that those emails that you used to go to right away, they probably go away by the time you get to them. The disaster's over. The problem's over.
Yeah.
You know, I know one guy who says he doesn't even look at his emails until 4:00 in the afternoon. Everybody knows this. By 4:00, he said everything's resolved. There's hardly anything he needs to deal with. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that's cool.
And I found when I started turning my
Yeah.
phone off, I didn't miss a thing. I think I've got all the kids and grandkids. I've got 21 grandkids. You know, somebody might need me. Hey, they don't. I've not yet had a time where I missed some emergency.
Yeah. No, definitely, Sherry. Can you share with us what you feel your innermost superpower is that got you to this point?
It's probably my passion. My passion and my drive. But I had to discipline. I did not come self-disciplined. I had to work on this. I was very undisciplined. I got myself into that problem in the first place. Is I drank too much, I partied too much, didn't go to school, didn't take care of money, spent too much money. So then I'm all of a sudden thinking I'm in a hole. I'm way behind everybody else. And because of just my lack of self-discipline. So quit drinking, quit doing the party thing, got married, got serious, and went to work. But so yeah,
But do you guys still party once in a while?
no, I'm not that way.
No,
I'm not drinking.
not
No,
that way, but you still, right, get have fun.
we play a ton. We travel all the time.
Yeah, that's good.
We go out to dinner every night. We keep our evenings
Awesome.
sacred.
Love it.
We just play in the evenings, but so we do like that. We have friends and things we do, but now on that drinking thing, there's nothing. First of all, I have an alcohol problem, so I can't go back there. But there's no real value in it. It just makes you say things, and it would get in the way of what I really want. And I knew that. I knew that early on that I couldn't have it both ways. So, but seriously, I talked to this young person the other day, and she said, I'm not going to drink anymore. She said, nothing good ever comes out of it. I said, it doesn't. It doesn't. You
it's
wake
true.
up the next morning saying, why did I say that stupid thing? or do that stupid thing. So.
Yeah. No, it's
true.
true.
I've got too many other things to accomplish to do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's great, Sherry. I genuinely, from my heart, I wish you all the best. And what you're doing and your work that you're doing with others. I get super excited when I interview people from this world because the impact that you guys are making, it's not just for today, it's generational. Like it's a worldwide paradigm shift, like the more we do this, the more people like you are out there doing great work, the more people will feel fulfillment, feel happy, may be able to have this journey in a more beautiful way. So I do definitely respect what you do, and I appreciate you for coming on the show today.
And you doing it too, right? We're doing it together. And that's where the happiness comes from. Happiness comes from from being the best you can be every day. That's
yeah.
So
that's great, Sherry. Would you like to sorry?
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay, that was. Would you like to kind of share anything? Your final thoughts to the audience? Anything that you want to share?
Yes, we kind of talked about it and around it. But if you want your life to be different, the world to be different, your relationships to be different, if you don't like things the way the politics are going or social trends are going, anything out there, you don't like world hunger. Weirdly enough, it all starts with you. You change you. And the only way you can make a difference in the world is you change you. You want to influence your children, you change you. You want a better marriage, change you. It's a universal principle.
Yes.
It's the only thing you can change.
Is so beautiful. Well said, Sherry. Thank you again. And audience, thanks again for joining us for another episode. Really appreciate you guys being part of this show and helping us grow and having the ability to meet wonderful people like Sherry and share their message with you all. And also, you should share the episode with your friends and family, because we always look at the world and we're always looking at who has caused something to us, or what has gone wrong in our circumstances. We're always looking out, we're always pointing, we're always trying to figure out what's going on. But like Sherry said, if we kind of look in the mirror and work on ourselves and become more self-aware, the beautiful thing is that the other things, they start to become better. I don't know how, but I know how, but it's just is this energy, right? And when you vibrate in a higher frequency, when you're feeling good and service to others, and you know about you, if you know about you, you can help others. That puts you in a place where you will see more growth in your business, and you'll see more success in financially or growth wise, with calmness. And Sherry mentioned calmness as well. And I love that word. Thank you again. And thank you so much, Sherry.